blues scales, pentatonic scales, chord tones, chord scales. What do you use when you want to improvise over the blues? Well, watch this video to get some practical tips to help you boost your blues improvisation. Hi, I'm Donna from DonnaSchwartzMusic.com, the site to boost your music performance and jazz improvisation skills up to the next level. For the best practical music performance and jazz improvisation tips, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you know when each new video comes out each and every week. So when soloing over a blues, you do have a lot of choices. Now, most of us started learning how to improvise by using a blues scale. And we were told we could use the blues scale over any blues and every note would sound good. Well, in some respects, that is pretty true, but then what happens in your journey for improvisation, you kind of get a little bored, and you kind of get a little predictable, and your solos don't have any more emotion to them because you're not exactly sure what to do with that blues scale. So then you ask the question, what else can I play over a blues? And if you have some guidance, hopefully you do, you're told, play chord tones. Figure out the chord tones that are in each of the chords. And in my last video, or one of my previous videos, I talked about how to spell chords and a two-step process that you can use so you could spell the chords really quickly. Definitely check that out. If you haven't checked it out, watch that video after you watch this one. So you're busy at work practicing chord tones and you're trying to put that into your solos and then you start to hit a roadblock because you think to yourself, but these chords, I'm having a hard time connecting them and I don't want to just use a blues scale. What do I do next? Well, then the next step, if you have guidance, would be to learn the chord scales that would apply to the song. And in a recent video that I did, I talked about which chord scales you would use for basic blues. Definitely check out that video. The link is in the description below. So now you have all these tools. You've got your blues scales, which are very similar to pentatonics. You've got your chord tones, you've got your chord scales. But how do you put it all together? All right, that's what this video is about. I'm going to make this really simple. When you're soloing over blues, you can use whatever you're hearing in your head. The more things that you practice, okay, which would be your chord scales, which would be your chord tones, which would be your blues scale, your pentatonic scale, the more that you practice these, the more tools in your toolbox, the more vocabulary you can draw from. But sometimes that can be really overwhelming. So here's what I'm going to suggest. Step number one, first go back to your basic blues scale. Make sure you've got that scale in your fingers. And I don't just mean playing it up and down like this. All that shows is that you could play that scale up and down 3 times kind of fast. It's not a solo, okay? Having command over that scale is doing something like this. Once you're really comfortable with that blues scale, then apply it to a backing track and really work on making it rhythmic, telling a story, okay, adding phrasing. All right, step 2, go back to the chord tones. And again, don't just play them like this and think that you've nailed them. Just playing them in one direction up and down doesn't mean that you have it in your fingers or up here. So really work on those 3 basic chords and move around them. Get comfortable with them. Get comfortable jumping around within each chord. When you're able to jump around and get rhythmic, then you're owning it. Then you're owning your chords, whatever you want to work on. Hey, let me know, is this helpful so far? All right, just type in the word helpful in the comments below. And the next step would be from there to play that along with a backing track. And here's a pro tip for you. Find a slow backing track to start with. So this way you're not overwhelmed with the tempo and playing fast and feeling like you have to play so many fast notes. Step 3, now go to the chord scales. Same idea as the others. Don't think that you own the chord scale by just playing it up and down. You've got to be able to move around it. And there's a lot more choices here. All right, so you've got to, get comfortable jumping around to different spots in that scale that may not feel so comfortable for you. Here's a pro tip with this though. When you're using chord scales, remember we're doing this over chords, okay? It's not like the blues scale where just about every note sounds good all the time. When you're dealing with chord scales, you want to emphasize the chord tones, especially on the stronger beats if you can. Now, chord tones are basically going to be the 1, 3, 5, and the flat 7 for a basic blues. So you want to try to get those on the downbeats. Sometimes you can hit the 9s, those are really good. And sometimes the 13, that's the 6. That's also pretty good too. But try to get in the habit first of getting those chord tones on the beats. Now, after you've done all those steps, the next step is really important. You're going to combine all the 3 steps, all the 3 types of ideas. I would strongly urge you to use a slower backing track and come up with a plan. Now, remember, we practice improvising, okay? It doesn't just come out of us, right? Just like you would practice a speech, you practice improvisation. So you'd say to yourself, okay, this time around, I'm going to use a combination of the blues scale and some chord tones. And you practice that with a backing track. Okay, round 2, I'm going to use a combination of the chord scales and some blues scale notes. Then you practice that. Okay, third round, I'm just going to use chord tones. And then maybe I'll throw in a couple of notes from the chord scale. And then you practice that. And when you start to do more of this structured practicing of improvisation, when you improvise for real, when you're out on a stage or just playing for friends or family, what you practiced will eventually come out. All right, it's not something magical that just comes out of the bell. It's something that's worked on. And there you have it. So you have 3 choices here. You could play a blues scale by itself. You could play the chord tones by itself. You could play the chord scales by itself. And honestly, the fourth choice really is You could do a combination of all of these as long as you follow the steps that I outlined in this video and treat improvisation as practicing, just like you would practice a speech. All right, if you like this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, share it, all right, and tap that subscribe bell so that you know when more of my videos come out each and every week. Thanks so much for joining me. On that note, take care. Have a great day. Okay, so recap. So we didn't talk at all about a blues scale or pentatonic scale. Instead, we just addressed the chord scale type that you can use for a basic blues. And again, a basic blues is, some people call it a 1-4-5 blues, just 3 chords, the 1-7, the 4-7, and the 5-7. And when you have those dominant 7th chords, even though I'm saying 1-7, 4-7, and 5-7, they act like dominant chords. You can use a Mixolydian mode. And I showed you how to figure that out, how to come up with it, how to practice it, and then how to apply it to playing over a basic blues track. I'm going to strongly suggest that you find a slow backing track to start off with, so this way you're not overwhelmed with fast tempos. So did you like this video? Give it a like and tap that subscribe bell so that you know when more of my videos come out each and every week. Hey, thanks so much for joining me. On that note, take care. Have a great day.